So welcome to our Medicare Supplement Insurance meeting. We'll talk about how to pick the right plan and get the best rate. And we'll share a few Medigap secrets that might save you a bunch of money too. This presentation is brought to you by Weiss Ratings and Gray House Publishing's Medigap pricing tool and insurance ratings. Now, Weiss Ratings has been rating the financial strength of the insurance, banking, and investment industries for over 40 years. And Gray House, as a library publisher, has been providing tools to the library market for also over 40 years. So between the two of us, we do not have any connection to the companies that we rate or that will be in the materials that we'll discuss tonight. So that means that you can be assured that you're getting independent, unbiased, and accurate ratings and information that aren't swayed because of a connection with a particular company or insurance plan. So this Medicare and Medigap discussion is designed to help you navigate through the Medicare maze. Our primary goal is to tell you about the choices you have available to you and help you save as much money as possible. At the end of this talk, you'll be able to download your own customized Medigap report that can help you find and select the best Medicare supplement insurance policy for you with the strongest companies for the least amount of money. And you can do it for free with your library card because Fairfield Public Library subscribes to this tool. Here's what we'll cover. The major expenses that Medicare doesn't cover. When is open enrollment and what does that mean? Why Medigap can be better than Medicare Advantage, and how to get lower premiums and save hundreds, even thousands of dollars. So let's start with when you can join Medicare. So your initial enrollment period is the 7 months surrounding your 65th birthday. So you can sign up 3 months before your 65th birthday, the month of your birthday, and 3 months after you turn 65. Now, if you don't join during your initial enrollment period, there's an open enrollment period each year from October 15th to December 7th. But if you're still working and you're covered by your employer's insurance, you can still sign up for Medicare when you turn 65, and Medicare can supplement your employer coverage. You might ask yourself, if you already have a Medigap plan, when can you change your plan or your insurer? If you have a Medigap plan now and want to change your plan or your insurer, you can do so during open enrollment each year from October 15th to December 7th, and your coverage will start on January 1st. So let's talk a little bit about Medicare coverage itself. Medicare is divided into 4 parts. So Medicare Part A, that's your hospital insurance. Medicare Part B is your medical insurance. Medicare Part C, those are Medicare Advantage plans. And Medicare Part D is prescription drug coverage. So if we go deeper into Medicare Part A, that covers your hospital-related services and emergency care, like inpatient hospitalization, home health services, skilled nursing services, and hospice. But Medicare Part A does not cover all of your hospital costs, and it does not cover long-term care. Medicare Part B, that covers your regular medical care and helps with outpatient services, like doctor office visits, laboratory services, ambulance, and diagnostic services. So if you have Medicare Part A and Medicare Part B, you think you're totally covered, right? But Medicare does not cover all of the costs associated with hospital and medical insurance, and it does not include prescription drug coverage. Here's some examples of Medicare out-of-pocket costs this year. So if you have a hospital stay, your hospital deductible is $1,600. You have an annual deductible for Medicare Part B, that's $233 per year. Most outpatient services and medical supplies, you'll have a 20% copay. And there's a monthly Part B premium that's around $170 depending on your income. And there are other fees as well. Hospital nursing facility care. Oops. And so these are some of the costs that if you have Medicare Part A and Part B, this is what you might pay out of pocket. And there are some other hidden costs. Prescription drugs, vision, emergency care abroad, dental, and hearing aids. None of these are covered through Medicare. When Medicare was established in 1965, it was never meant to cover all of the medical care for your senior years. It was intended to cover only the most basic of needs. Now you have choices in regards to your health care. You can stick with Medicare Part A and Part B, or you can purchase additional coverage. And you can make this decision based on your unique healthcare needs. Now you have two choices to fill the gap, what Medicare doesn't cover. You have Medicare Advantage plans, or Medicare Part C, and Medicare Supplemental Insurance, which is also called Medigap. Medicare Advantage plans, or Part C, is coverage provided by private insurance and is limited to a defined network of doctors and providers. Most Medicare Advantage plans combine all of your services into one. So they combine your Part A, your hospital insurance, your Part B, your medical care, and oftentimes Part D, your prescription drug coverage. On the other side, Medicare Supplement Insurance, or Medigap, covers what Medicare doesn't. So it covers deductibles, copayments, and coinsurance, and it's designed to fill in the gap that Medicare Part A and Part B don't cover. Also why it's called Medigap. So let's look at the two side by side. So if we look here on the left, Medigap, which is original Medicare plus a Medicare supplement plan, those plans do have higher premiums, but they don't have copays. You have the freedom to choose your doctor. So that means anyone who accepts Medicare will accept a Medigap plan. No referrals are necessary, but some routine services are not covered, like vision and hearing. You're covered anywhere in the US, and 6 plans offer coverage abroad. Now, on the other side, if you're interested in Medicare Advantage plans, those plans generally have lower premiums, but they do have copays. You may be restricted to a network. You may need referrals for specialists, but most Medicare Advantage plans include extra benefits like vision, hearing, or fitness. But outside of your service area, you're limited to emergency services only. So that brings us to secret number 1, that Medigap plans offer identical coverage. So right now, there are 10 Medigap plans, each known by a letter A through N, and 2 plans, F and G, each have an additional high deductible option. For every lettered plan, every insurer that offers that plan provides the same exact benefits. The plans are regulated by the government, so the coverage within each lettered plan is the same, regardless of which insurer you choose. That means that all Plan A's have exactly the same coverage. All Plan B's have exactly the same coverage. All Plan F's are the same. All Plan G's are the same. And because they're the same, that means that you can pick the plan that has the coverage that you want. You can compare one insurer to another, and you can pick the plan that has the best rate. So if you're thinking about a Medigap plan and you want to decide which plan is right for you, these are some questions to ask yourself. The first is, well, what is your income? Now, using the customized Medigap report, you'll be able to download through the Fairfield Public Library website. You can shop for a Medigap plan that has the most benefits that will fit within your budget. The next question is, do you think you will want or need nursing care? And that's, of course, a hard question to answer to look into the future, but you can look at your family's medical history. If your parents or grandparents needed nursing care, you may also need similar care in the future. The next question is, do you travel a lot overseas? If you do, you can get coverage for emergency care in a foreign country with plans C through G, M, and N. So if you're deciding between Medigap plans, you can pay a higher premium for Medicare Advantage. You can pay less for your premium and potentially pay more out of pocket. So let's take a look at Medicare Medigap plans A through N. Now this chart, which you don't have to write down right now because this chart is duplicated in the customized report that we'll be able to download together and you can download for yourself. But it's a handy indicator of what each of those Medigap plans cover. So if we look at Plan A, those plans will cover your Medicare Part A coinsurance and hospital costs. That's that $1,600 deductible that we were looking at earlier. It covers your Medicare Part B coinsurance or copayment, first 3 pints of blood, and your Part A hospice care coinsurance or copayment. Plan A has the least amount of coverage. Plan B, that adds your Medicare Part A deductible. Plan C adds skilled nursing facility coinsurance if a nursing facility, might be in your family history. And then if we look in the middle of this page, plans F and plans G are the most comprehensive plans that Medigap offers. So as you can see, Plan F has all those checkoff boxes filled. Plan G is pretty close. The only difference is the Medicare Part B deductible. So if we look here in Plan F, you can see that this checkoff box means that Medigap Plan F does cover your Part B deductible. That's $233 a year. Now, Plan G, on the other hand, that is not covered. So that means that you pay that $233 out of pocket. So that's the only difference between Plan F and Plan G. Now, if we look at some sample pricing of what these plans cost per year, you can see that Plan G would cost this sample 65-year-old female $24.92 per year versus Plan F at $32.52. So almost $1,000 difference, and the only difference is that $233. So it really does pay to shop around, to understand what the individual plans offer and know that you're getting the best rate. And that's what this report is designed to help you do. So that brings us to secret number 2, that Medigap plans are standard, but the rates are not. Oops. Insurance premiums can vary by thousands of dollars a year for the exact same coverage. So let's say that again. So all Plan A's are the same, all Plan B's are the same, all Plan G's are the same, but how could they cost different? And that's just because insurance companies are not regulated in terms of what they can charge for these plans. So it really does pay to shop around. Let's take a look at some examples. So for a 65-year-old female living in Fairfield, if she's interested in Plan G, the highest premium we saw was $35.68 per year. The lowest premium is $13.32. That's a savings of $2,200 a year for the exact same Plan G benefits. And then if we look at a 68-year-old male, also in Fairfield, if he's interested in Plan A, the highest premium we saw was $32.60 versus $11.16. And that's $2,144 per year that you can save and get the same exact benefits. Now for a couple, the highest premium we saw with Plan G was $8,011.17 versus $28.64. So a $5,000 savings, that's $50,000 over 10 years. So we're going to help you make sure that you're getting the best deal on your Medicare supplement insurance, if that's the right route you want to take. So the next question to ask is, well, how safe is your insurer? And that's where Weiss safety ratings come in. Weiss has been rating the financial strength of the insurance, banking, and credit union industries for years. We collect their quarterly filings 4 times a year, and we crunch those numbers to come up with a financial safety rating that speaks to, will this company be able to survive either a severe or a moderate recession? To answer the question, will they be there for me 10 years from now when I need them to pay out my claims? So we use a pretty standard report card style grading mechanism. A is excellent, B is good, C is fair or average, D is weak, and E is very weak. Now, we're can be a little bit of a mean teacher where it takes a lot to get an A grade from us because our ratings are very conservative. So you don't necessarily need to be alarmed by a C grade for an insurance company. That just means that they have, an average grade. A and B are better, but C is average. Now, secret number 3 is that safer insurers are not necessarily the most expensive, which I find surprising. That higher premiums don't mean you're getting coverage from a stronger, more financially stable insurance provider. And secret number 4 is that you can make the choice. You can get more coverage for less, reduce your plan. Let's go over those 4 secrets one more time. That Medigap plans offer identical coverage. The Medigap plans are standard, are not necessarily more expensive, and you can make the choice. So what Medigap report, so you know where it will help you make
Jessica,
the right
I hate
choice.
to do this.
Yep.
You broke up for a lot of that last slide. I don't know if you just
Oh,
go back.
this one?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go over those 4 secrets one more time. That Medigap plans offer identical coverage. Every plan A is the same, every plan B is the same, every F is the same, every G. Every plan within that letter is exactly the same. The Medigap plans are standard, but the rates are not. Safer insurers are not necessarily more expensive, and you can make the choice. So what we'll do next is we'll go ahead and download a Medigap report from the site through the Fairfield Public Library website. Now, this report is designed to help you make the right choice for you and your specific situation. You can pick the right coverage, you can pick the lowest rate, you can save valuable time and money, and pick the best and most affordable plan from all available providers customized just for you. And you can get it all for free with your library card because Fairfield subscribes to this helpful tool. Now, before we move forward, there's some common questions that we should talk about first. There were some changes in 2020 about eligibility for plans C and F. If you were eligible for Medicare after January 1st, 2020, Plan C, Plan F, and high deductible Plan F will not be available to you. If you were eligible for Medicare before January 1st, 2020, you can continue to enroll in Plan C, Plan F, and high deductible Plan F. But the chart that I was talking about earlier that compared F and G, and C and D, the only difference between those plans is your Part B deductible, where with Plan G, you pay it out of pocket, and when Plan F, the insurance company pays it for you. Now, This is an important distinction because even if you turned 65 before January 1st, 2020, and Plan F is available to you, Plan F may not be the least expensive option because it's not accepting new enrollees. So as the years go by and no new enrollees are joining Plan F because the government won't let them in, that means that the average age of people who are holding Plan F is getting older and older. And that generally means that the plan will get more and more expensive as we move further away from 2020. So we've seen that Plan G is trending less expensive than Plan F, even though you pay the $233 Part B deductible out of pocket. So just keep that in mind. Now, the solution offered by Weiss Ratings and their customized Medigap report is to help you find and select the best Medigap policy for you with the strongest companies for the least amount of money. But naturally, every person's situation is unique. So if you have more questions, we urge you to talk to your doctor about your future healthcare needs and make sure that the plan you're selecting will give you the coverage that you need. You can talk to your insurance company that you're considering to make sure your specific questions are answered. And there's a couple of options for one-on-one counseling. Um, we have been recommending to talk to a SHIP counselor. That stands for State Health Insurance Assistance Programs. They offer personalized one-on-one Medicare counseling over the phone or in person to help you further. Now, if you're interested, you can locate a SHIP counselor in your area by visiting www.shiptacenter.org. Now, Claudia was telling me that Fairfield Public Library has programming that connects patrons to choices counselors who do the same thing. So you can visit the reference desk in the library to ask about the availability of counselors there, or you can take advantage of a SHIP counselor online. And what those counselors are trained to do is to help people navigate this oftentimes difficult decision-making process. The reporting can be confusing and can be expensive, and you want to make sure that you're making the most informed decision for your unique needs. So here's how to get your own report to help you get started on that journey. You're going to go to the Fairfield Public Library website, click on Learning and Research, then select the Databases button and search for Weiss Financial Ratings. So I'm going to go ahead and let's hop on the site now. So I'm going to click on Learning and Research and then Databases. Now we're in the W's, so we have to take a very long journey down here. If we do, let's see, is there an A to Z list? Okay, so in consumer information, we're here in Weiss Medicare Supplement Insurance Pricing Tool. And if you do the A to Z list, then we're all the way down in the basement in the W section. So if you click on the Medicare Supplement Insurance Pricing Tool, that will bring you right over to our website for Weiss Financial Ratings. Now, this screen will prompt you for your name, your age, your gender, your zip code. Now, rest assured, we don't collect this information in any capacity. We'll never contact you about anything insurance related or anything for that matter. It's only designed to personalize your report. If you're running one for yourself or your spouse, it's a good idea to know who is who. Now, if you are not comfortable putting in your name, you can put in your initials, you can put in a nickname, you can put in library patron if you so choose, however you want your report to be personalized. Now, if you would like a copy of the report emailed to you. You can fill in your email address. That will send you a copy of the report to your email. That way you can save a copy to your home computer, refer to it over and over again. The report can be long in some cases, sometimes 50 or 60 pages. So if you don't want to print it out in the library, I suggest emailing it to yourself. Okay, then you choose your age, your gender, and your zip code, 06824, and click Get Report. This is going to swirl around for a moment. I went ahead and built a report a little earlier. So let's just walk through what's in this Medigap report. So the discussion starts with 4 key decisions that you might make when you're considering Medigap insurance. The first is, should I seek to get better health insurance coverage than Medicare alone can give me? Decision number 2 is, how should I cover that gap between my medical bills and what Medicare pays? We talk about Medigap versus Medicare Advantage. Which Medigap plan should I choose if you do decide to go that route? And then which insurance company should I buy my Medigap plan from? So the next question, or the next section, is a narrative about what Medicare covers and what you pay out of pocket for a long list of medical services. Now, I find this chart to be handy because for those of you who may not be all that familiar with Medicare and are, would like to put together a budget of, well, what does this mean for me? What does it mean for my out-of-pocket expenses if I have Medicare? What am I going to pay for Medicare Part B monthly? What is it going to cover in terms of the services that I use regularly? So you can use this to come up with just a loose budget of, okay, if I just have Medicare Part A and Part B, what does that mean in terms of what my costs are? And that's good information to have, particularly when you are considering a supplemental plan, either a Medicare Advantage plan or a Medigap, to first come up with, okay, this is what Medicare is not going to cover. So this is the shortfall that I'm looking at. So that goes on for pages and pages and pages. The next section is, what are the gaps in coverage? So we'll talk about deductibles and co-payments, shortfalls, and services that are not covered. So for those of you who are interested in a Medigap or Medicare Supplemental Insurance plan, this brings us back to that handy chart of, well, okay, let's stack up the plans side by side and see who covers what. So once you decide, well, let's look at plan A because that has the least amount of coverage, or let's, take a look at plan G if you're interested in, well, how does that compare between, not so comprehensive and very comprehensive? So then the next section is, well, let's dig a little deeper into each of these plans and then see how much they cost. So if we take a look to plan A, this is going to have a narrative about what that plan covers. And remember, all plan A's are the same. You're not going to find more services in one insurance company versus another. They all provide the same exact stuff. So if we take a look at the costs for plan A, now we divide these into groups of what is the financial safety rating of the insurer. So, and then it's sorted by cost. So you can see that if this 65-year-old female is interested in plan A, the least expensive I see is United Healthcare at $22.11 versus, holy cannoli, Anthem at $11,774. Good grief. Now, these are the same exact plans. Like, you're not getting anything more with Anthem and paying $9,000 more a year. Oi. And then look at Colonial Penn down here at 17. Every insurance company who offers Medicare supplemental insurance plans, they have to offer a plan A. And some of them, I think, just price themselves out of anyone buying a plan A because they don't technically want to cover people under Plan A because it has the least amount of coverage. So let's hop over to Plan G. So we'll talk about a narrative of what Plan G covers. There is also a high deductible Plan G for those who are interested. Now here, if we compare these prices, you have $24.92 through Anthem and $24.96 through United Healthcare. Now this double asterisk here means this is an AARP plan. So if you receive a mailer or see a commercial about Medicare Supplement Insurance that is offered through United Healthcare or AARP, that's a United Healthcare plan because all AARP plans underwrite their Medicare Supplement Insurance through United Healthcare. So, say you had Omaha Insurance and you were paying $51.45 per year, you could save yourself $3,000 a year just by switching insurer. Now, this is Plan G, which is the most comprehensive coverage. So let's roll back to the rates of Plan A. Plan A only has those 4 checkoff boxes. And Plan A is more expensive in most cases than Plan G with more comprehensive coverage. So what this report is designed to do is to not only give you information about what the individual plans are and what they cover, but also help you get the most comprehensive coverage that you can afford with paying the lowest rate based on all of these insurance companies. Because as you can see here, the prices do vary by quite a bit. Now, at the end of the report, there's an index of all of the Medigap insurers. So with the phone number. So if you have questions, you can go ahead and, give them a call, ask them whatever questions you have. Now, we provide these reports all throughout the country. And I've given this presentation for library patrons in Illinois and New Hampshire and all over the place. And I have to tell you that Connecticut has some of the highest rates that I've seen throughout the entire country. My mom just turned 65 and she just went through this process of, deciding between, what's the right plan for her. And I've heard a number of people in Connecticut who just say that, Medicare supplemental insurance plans are expensive. So they, steer themselves towards the lower monthly premiums of a Medicare Advantage plan, particularly in Connecticut because of the cost difference. Now, most Medicare Advantage plans have a maximum out-of-pocket per year. And if that is something that you are considering, I would make yourself a 10-year budget to say, this is what I would pay for my monthly premiums with the Medigap plan and know that all of my expenses are covered versus this is what I would pay over 10 years with a Medicare Advantage plan, knowing that I will have out-of-pocket expenses that aren't covered within the plan. And what does that mean in terms of a range of what my maximum out-of-pocket expense could be? So that will help you just, decide if you're just looking at the dollars of how to stack those plans up side by side. So let's hop on the Fairfield site one more time and just go over where to find us. So you're going to go to the database page, which is learning and research, and then databases. And then you can hop down to consumer information, click the Weiss Medicare Supplemental Insurance Pricing tool. That will get you right to the Medigap generator, so you can do that. You can also hop onto some of the other tabs if you're interested in investment ratings for stocks, mutual funds, and exchange traded funds, or the financial strength of banks, credit unions, excuse me, and other insurance companies. We do a number of financial literacy tools if you're interested in just broadening your knowledge base about other financial literacy items. And that's what we do. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the conversation for questions. We're going to stop the recording now so that